Just as a heads up for this tutorial, I am very bad at teaching in live action. So before you enter into Blender, I recommend that you know the basics at least. You know, the donut tutorial, the human tutorial, whatever you want to do. Just so you know the basics of how to work with Blender, okay? Even though I made it as simple as possible, and if you follow the tutorial that I give you, you should be able to get a decent skin in whatever champion you want to do. Having said that, let's begin the tutorial. This one is going to be a giant recap, and it assumes that you have bashed the 2 previous ones. We're going to make BRIAR with some sick-ass shoes to learn the basics of everything you need to do to make a custom skin in Blender. Strap on, it's going to be a long-ass one, and let's begin. First of all, we got extract BRIAR. Go to our programs, Obsidian, and we open it. Should load after a while. Takes about 5 to 10 seconds, like I always say. There we go. We go game data final champions. We search for BRIAR.wad. Here. We click on it, file, track selected, and we go to our folder. That is here, extracted files, and now we go and name it BRIAR. Extract the files, done. We close Obsidian. We go now to lol to gltf and click on it. It's gonna open small, but if you put it big, it should open without a hitch. Don't know why it does that, but I don't care honestly. We go with the simple skin. We go back to our folder, extracted files, BRIAR, assets, character, BRIAR, skins, and we're gonna go with the base one, BRIARbase.skn, and we get the SKL2. For that, we gotta grab the textures. We got the base BRIAR texture for the body. Tackle seems to be on weapon, crystal 2, tackle blades 2, fancy daggers 2, head base 2 on base, and head frenzy on base. After seeing all of these, we know that BRIAR has a lot of meshes, but we're not going to use most of these. We're just going to add some shoes for everything. After that, we go to gltf, and we can go with BRIAR export. Should convert, perfect, and we should be good to go to open Blender. We're gonna import BRIAR. Before that, we're gonna already modify this so we can see it properly. We can close it now. I forgot how. Like this. Good. File, import, gltf, and always remember, bone direction should be Blender. Go to our folder, BRIAR export. We open it. Here we have BRIAR with all its glory. We go to textures, it's modeled, and if we go and hide the bones, we should see this. Fine, we don't need to modify anything yet, but we can hide something so we can work easier. Okay, we're gonna hide the head frenzy, alpha clip 1, head base stays, frenzy daggers alpha clip 1, tackle blades alpha clip 1, crystal, so on until we only have the body. Good to go. BRIAR is all for our making. After all, I'm gonna grab some shoes. I'm gonna leave the 3D model on the description for you to follow the tutorial exactly the same as I. Once you got the 3D model, you can make it your own or you can download it from the internet. I download it from the internet. I'm going to organize it. I'm gonna put here models. I'm gonna click another folder here, say shoe. And we're gonna put the files here, the source and texture. Source is to the 3D model and textures is the texture of the shoe. All dot. After all of that, we import it back to Blender, File, Import, I think it's FBX, go to Folder, Models, View, Source, and Shoe. Let's see where it is. It's here. It's so small that you can see it. Luckily, we have this precious tool called Scale on Blender. If you go here, see here, you can just click S. It's gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. Gonna leave it like that. This is the shoe we're gonna use. It's very simple, it's very efficient. Now we just gotta put it on the BRIAR's feet. Easy enough. Go to Blender and use this with the middle mouse key to move around, and use Shift middle mouse key to move like this. But mostly you only want to use these orthographic views, so that way you can align it. Very good. But not supposed to be perfect since we're just doing a tutorial, but I try to make it as good as possible. Now we only have one shoe, but that we can have the solution pretty quickly by doing modifiers, add, mirror, and mirror object can mesh 0, I'm sorry. Now we have BRIAR with 2 shoes. To make this permanent, you just click on this arrow over here and apply. BRIAR has 2 shoes now. The only problem I'm sorry. The only problem is that these shoes won't move when BRIAR will move. That also has an easy fix. We hide the shoes over here. We go to BRIAR. Now we have to go to Weight Paint. We click on Object Data Properties, and here we have vertex groups. Where are these? These decide what part of the body moves with each bone. You don't have to know much about it if you're not going to make animations. The only thing you have to do is, you have an object on your neck, you should have the object like this, with red all over it. Good? Good. We have to find the bone that is on the feet. Let's search. Should be toe. We have left toe and right toe. Good. It's toe, right? Or it's foot? It's foot. Left foot and right foot. Good. Having the names, I'm gonna copy it to object mode again, show the shoes, and we're gonna add 2 groups. The left and the right foot. We go to Weight Paint, edit mode. We go with this view and hide BRIAR for now, and we go with X-ray. We're gonna select this one, right one, for the right foot, and we're gonna click Assign. Same with left foot. Left foot, go to this and click Assign. Now if you go to Weight mode, both go red when you click the selected bone. Perfect. Now we gotta put the texture with BRIAR. This is gonna cause some hiccups, but if you try and follow me goodish enough, it should be easy to fix. Firstly, we go to any editing software for textures. In my case, I'm gonna use Pixlr, which is similar to Photoshop. Having the program open, we need to get BRIAR's texture in the program. For that, we go back to Blender, to the editing. We go to image 0, that is in that BRIAR uses by default, image, save as, and we save it wherever we want. In this case, I'm going to save it here, like BRIAR textures. Good. After that, we go to our program, we open, we go to BRIAR textures, and we have it here. What we're gonna do is get the shoe textures into BRIAR's texture. How do we do it? Go to image, page size, and we get a little bit of space more here. I'm going to put 2048. Thank you, computer. And we put it like here. That way, we have space to put whatever textures we want. If we have more than one object, I suggest you grab the stuff and put it smaller over here. So you grab models, shoe, texture. We have the shoe texture here. We can just drag it onto here, add, and even though it goes like this, we can just make it smaller, put it over here. I recommend, if the size of the square is 1024, that you divide it by 2, that way 512, and that way you have space for 4 more textures. If you want more, you can do 256, up 256, and you have 4 by 4, which is 16. Be wary that the lower resolution the texture is, the worse it will look. So you have to find a balance between adding more squares here in size or making the ones you have smaller. Having said that, since we have space enough for shoes, I'm gonna make it the same size as BRIAR skin, and that's it. I grab this, we're gonna save it, the PNG, the same place as we put the BRIAR textures. BRIAR textures modified. Now comes the hard part, which is having BRIAR and the shoes work in the same textures, and try to follow me to try understand how it works. Okay, we have BRIAR. We have to click on BRIAR, go to edit mode, and since only 3 parts of her use her normal body, we just have to change that way. For ease of use, I'm going to disable the X-ray. You can see BRIAR. I'm going to click every single part that uses the image of the body. How do you see that? You go to surface. You have here a transparent and emission. You go to emission. Here says base color, and you can see the image. You gotta look for the ones that use image 0 in this case. Is head base, head frenzy, and body. We select all 3. Hold up. We don't select all 3. We go to every single one, and we gotta add our new image. Open. BRIAR textures modified. It's gonna look weird at first, but don't worry, we'll fix it. Cancel. Open. Folder. BRIAR modified, and modified. It's gonna look very weird at first, but don't worry, it's easy to fix. You only have to select every single one of them, go to UV editing, search the image you have, this one, and do this. Click on here once, click on the letter A, S, click, and you have this window down below. Click on scale X and put the number 0.5. It's gonna become a square again. Now you have to move it. There's a couple ways. You can use this. You can use the letter G with the letter X. You just have to make sure that the skin is symmetrical. I use the nose as a reference, and that way we have BRIAR back to normal. With that done, and go back to the shoes. Now we gotta join BRIAR's shoes into herself. Before doing that, you have to be wary. Sometimes models on the internet have a different name here, like UV channel 1. You gotta try that both have the same name. In this case, UV map here and UV map here. Good. After doing that, you click on the shoes, click Control, and while holding it, click on BRIAR, and you can right-click Join. The shoes are now connected. We can go to Edit mode. Go to the materials, and you can choose the shoes because they still have the same material. You select, go to Body, Sign, and do not deselect the shoe. If you somehow click outside and it deselects, you can click Ctrl Z and it goes back. Go to UV editing. You can see this mess. You go to A, scale, again like BRIAR 0.5, And instead of going to the left, where BRIAR skins are, go to the right and align it well if you can. I honestly don't know how this was before, so I'm just going to do it as best as I can. Ta-da! And it should look nice. After that, you can see the BRIAR has the shoes. They're weighted, so they will move when BRIAR moves. Everything is done. What do you do? First, delete the materials that you're not going to use, in this case, this one. You have everything. It doesn't matter that you have some things hidden. You can show them again, but I won't. Doesn't matter. You just have the model finished. Here, have it selected, then go to File, Export, LTF, and it's done. Go to folder. Instead of calling it export, you call it, I don't know, BRIAR import. That way you don't confuse it. We're done in Blender. If everything's gone correctly and you did everything right, you have the model here. Just remember to save it. You don't want to lose it, like BRIAR shoes. And that's it. You have the model here saved. If you want to do any modifications, add a cap, something, you're good to go. Now we go to export the thing to to League of Legends files. In order to keep everything organized, we're going to copy and paste the BRIAR files, but instead of on a folder called BRIAR, in the way that League of Legends can understand it, you're going to create a folder. Put the name of the skin, I don't know, shoes BRIAR. And inside you're going to put BRIAR.wad.client. You need to do this so the program that you use to custom skins can recognize the skin itself. For that, grab this, copy it, and you paste it inside here. It'll take a while. There we go. And now we get to do the coding part of this tutorial, which is putting the skin back to where it came from. Okay. First, you have to have a command code in hand that I'm going to write here. I'm going to put it on the description, but you have to have it always in hand, which is this following. Go to gltf.cli.exe/c, you get the file, which is in this case BRIAR import, and the export file would be briarbase.skn. Good. We copy all this, go to folder, programs, go to gltf, and here we have to write here cmd, and we'll open this. After this is open, we only have to paste the command we just written. Click enter. If everything's good, fuck. Everything's not good, hold up. Okay, I found a mistake. It was the brackets over here. Remember to use always brackets. Would put the example over there, never delete the bracket. You paste it here, you click enter, and it works. You know it works because it doesn't say any errors, and it just goes over here. You go now to in export, you have this. You gotta copy it, go to new folder, to the BRIAR model that we want, which is shoes. You go all the way back, BRIAR skin base, and you paste it. I'm gonna ask you if you want to copy over the files. Click yes, it's fine. After that, the only thing that's left is grabbing the BRIAR texture and modifying it to fit the shoes that we did before. That's easy to do. You only have to have one program that's called paint.net. I will leave it in the description below again. You open it, gonna open the program. There we go. We have to do the same as the Photoshop one, but it's gonna be easier. Image, resize. We got the width to 2048. Click enter. Gonna do this weird, don't worry. Go back to your files, go to where you put the BRIAR textures modified, you just copy it, Ctrl V, you have everything fixed. For that, you just click save. Remember to always save in BC3, which allows transparency, and it should be the most compatible file. Click OK. And it's done. You go to, again, this, characters, BRIAR, skins, base, skin is done, and it's modified. Now, how to get it into the game. That's the last part. Sorry if it takes a little while. It's a longer process than the rest. Go to your program. In this case, I'm going to use CSLOL, which is going to be changed very soon. You go to new, over here, sorry, create new mod, put the name, BRIAR, everything 0.1 as save. And here you click add raw. And you go again to your folder, Spectre files, choose BRIAR, and click here double time, select, and it's gonna be added to League of Legends. It's gonna take a little while depending on the modifications, and it's done. Close it, choose BRIAR here, select it, run it, and now you can go to League of Legends. Go to League of Legends, this is my account, hahaha, go to Praxis tool, confirm, yeah, start game, you get your champion, which is BRIAR. This is selected, good, start, and everything should work. Let's see. Gonna load, it takes a little while always, let me just pause it. And when it finishes loading and it falls on right, BRIAR has shoes now. They're not perfect since we did it for a tutorial. You see that you can clip a bit through the shoe, but you have shoes. Have fun with this information. And I'll try to make a better tutorial once I have a good enough understanding on how to teach it, because I'm not a teacher. Bye-bye!